I made a zine, or I tried to start to make a zine, and I did not look up, you know, like pictures or references. I just saw somebody. Oh, that is looking. I saw somebody on my recommended showing a video of how to make zines, and I've tried making zines in the past, yeah. But like something about me when I'm being watched or when the camera is on my face and I'm doing something that is coming from like inspiration, everything gets blocked and I feel so much pressure. So I can't do it the way I like it. But so I did it without looking. This is just old cardboard. This 48 days was for something I was trying to, achieve or something. I didn't get to 48 days, but at least um, I measured up to like 30 something days, And then I wrote scene, amateur. I just put on this random coloring and all of it. And the way I made the paper I folded a plain A4 paper into four, and then I cut it in such a way that I cut the tops in such a way that these ends, like you see, they are not completely unraveled, but they're able to flip from page to page. Eh? There's another way they do it, but that way, just the idea of looking it up and trying to read made me feel like so much. Like I felt like I wouldn't be able to achieve it because I would feel overwhelmed by how other people's skill set together. I'll be like, oh, I can't do this. So I was like, let me just follow my process. So this is the first page. I just colored in and shaded in with pencils and colored pencils, and it just makes sense to me. Yeah. And then I wrote down my favorite line in the recent poem I read by W.E.Ts. And then these are some of the poems that I really like so far reading the book. Ephemera, Down by the Sally Gardens, The Meditation of the Old Fisherman, and The Sad Shepherd. So if you check my channel, I've made two videos now on poems by W.E.Ts. and it's the Sad Shepherd and Ephemera. So for the back, I pasted on this decorative like sheets. I just have them lying around, so I just pasted it on. So this is the front and this is the back. So I placed it like this. I haven't gummed it together or stapled it together because I don't like to limit myself by permanence or something. So let me just have it flexible. So I just wanted to show you this is my thing. And then I wanted to share some thoughts that have been crossing my mind. I don't know if it's inspired by the reading group or not, but um, I've just been considering, and I've listened to this podcast Into Deep. So that podcast is very enlivening. It's enlightening. They go really deep. It's by Alisa. Alisa is from Australia, and she's really adamant about feminism. You get, and she goes like really, really deep. You get, and listening to her so far, I saw her randomly when I was like on Spotify, and she was like king shaming. My king is king shaming. You get, and I was like, I'm one for kings, I'm pro kings, and all of that. But then when she was talking about it, I just um understood her perspective so clearly, and I saw it for what it was, and it was like, yeah, this is valid. These are valid perspectives. Get, and two things can be right at the same time in my world, yeah. So then I was checking out that podcast of hers, and she was talking another one. She was talking about marriage and how marriage is inherently anti-feminist. Yeah, it is a it's an event, or it is a connection that actually this is ownership over women's existence. Yeah, you are owned by the man and you are stamped by his name and all of that. Even if you say you're not taking his name, like choice feminists do, you're still in this institution of the marriage. Yeah, and she made solid points for me because I've already been thinking about it towards that angle. Yeah, and I'm thinking about how like um when I had like a failed experience, like a failed relationship and all of that. And so, like, talking about a failed relationship yet, and I was like, so what's the point of all of this? And I think it's not only the grief speaking, I think something bigger is coming through, like, through the grief you get and seeing something new. And it's like, at the end of the day, what I was what I grew up believing is that there's this wonderful event that happens in your life, this exciting thing that kind of centers you and becomes your compass, your balance, your anchor, And I didn't see it as when I was growing up. I didn't see it as I didn't notice it as it's only girls that feel this way or it's only women that feel this way. I was like, okay, I grew up, I had this wonderful, exciting event. It doesn't matter if I never become what I want to become. It doesn't matter if any of my dreams come true. Okay, it doesn't matter if I'm satisfied with my life. All I care about is this exciting event. And what's that exciting event? Falling in love, being chosen by a man, dating a man, being made to be the center of this man's world, and then getting the ultimate reward, marriage. And it's like, now that I've gotten to this stage and all my experiences, now that I've begun to realize that I want to be the center of my world and I want to have a life that I'm proud of, not proud of as in material acquisitions and all of that, but just proud of me that I am peaceful, I am content, I am happy, I am safe, I am fulfilled, you know. Thinking about all of that and in the light of this failed relationship, it's just like so like when I wake up it's like so what is now the what is now going to be my excitement for life? You understand? Yes, I like peace, I like contentment, I like satisfaction, but like shouldn't I be expectant of an excitement, a great excitement, And it's like, why? What does excitement even mean? Yet excitement for me, especially with this relationship thing, was just um moment of nervous system dysregulation, chaos, you get, making romance out of chaos, you get, determining that the chaos of a horrible connection is the highlight of my life. And if I find a way to kind of like a stallion that is not trained, like a wild stallion, like if I can at least break the stallion, like me personally, I'm able to break the stallion, then that means, I have succeeded. You know, breaking the stallion means I have succeeded. Nobody else can ride the stallion, you get, the way that I do. And this stallion is mine. Even if the process of breaking the stallion is life threatening, literally, yeah. I I just took it. I went in with a blind expectation, like, no, this is everything. This is everything that I want. And now it's like, okay, back to the excitement. It's like, do I want chaos and call it excitement? It's like, no. When I wake up in the morning and I write, or I decide I'm going to make this video, or I mess around with my clay um, sculpture and all of that, I just read a book, I watch a wonderful movie or wonderful anime. All of those things are exciting. I eat a very delicious meal. It's exciting in its own little way, and it does not involve any part of my nervous system being dysregulated, being stressed, being worried, being bothered about um, the future of it. Because I'm just in that moment enjoying my movie. I'm just in that moment reading my book. I'm just in that moment sleeping, watching a wonderful YouTube video. Again. And it's like, why can't that just be my everyday thing? I've never considered it before, and I'm not considering it now. It's like so. All of this, when people talking about building a relationship, learning how to be healthy in relationships and all connections, it's like, but like at the end of it, do I want to enter into the system of marriage, the institution of marriage? And the answer is leaning towards no, 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 no. Because the thing I've seen of marriage so far, like, no matter how awesome some people's connections are and they are married, there's this level of selfishness that men always persist in. This level of self-absorption that is their entire, like, they are at the center of their own world. In the moment where you're having a relationship with a guy, it's just him for a temporary moment putting you as the center of his world. You get, and you enjoy being the center, and then you now make him the center of your world, thinking that it is mutual. But the thing is that after marriage, he occupies the front seat of his life. He occupies the center of his life, becomes the sun, and then you start to orbit around him. And it's like, you cannot put yourself back in the center. Well, so people figure out themselves, but in this, the way marriage works, the way marriage is praised and lauded as good, is when the woman never ever finds herself back in the center of her own life, back as the sun of her life. She's stuck orbiting around this man, this son of her life, which is the man that she married again, and the man is like treasuring her, but he's just treasuring her. The treasuring is limited. You get, it's limited. Like they don't ever put you back in the center. And why should they? The question now is not for me. The question now is not that how do I make the man make me stay in, like at the center of his world, because I always, yes, like there's this expectation that I was socialized into believe that I'll always have to make this man the center of my world, and I'll be happy about it. I won't see anything wrong with him being the center of my world. The only thing I'll see anything wrong with is like, oh, why won't you make me? And I'll keep asking for the rest of our connection. Like, please make me center of your life. Please make it. No, but no, let's turn it the other way. Like, not the other way, but like let's come out of that dynamic. Let nobody be the center. You as a woman cannot be the center of a man's life. That's just the truth. But why don't like this demographic of people named women come out of that dynamic and just focus on being the center of their own existence? Like loving somebody does not require you orbiting around them. Like I feel like when I can cultivate a love, until I can cultivate a love that persists in me being the center of my own life, me being the sun of my universe, as much as as long as I can persist with any relationship that comes in that moment, I don't expect them to orbit around me. I don't expect them to be in my orbit. Like I want it to be sovereign, let there be sovereign connections. Is there a possibility for that? Is that ever going to happen? I feel like these are the things I need to ponder on. Like I don't have to have an answer right now, but I think that is a way I want to exist in. And I don't want my options to be limited to men either, because men are harbingers of the patriarchy. Okay, the patriarchy punishes them, but they also punish other people that are suppressed by the patriarchy. They benefit from it, but they're also punished by it. And it's like I don't want to deal with such wounded demographic of people. I want to be in a I'm proud to be sovereign. Like I am sovereign. I'm recognizing my own sovereignty and I'm claiming ownership of my sovereignty, of my sovereign self. Like Toni Morrison says, I'm claiming ownership of my sovereign self. So I want to see. I don't know. And then I feel like me being in ownership of my sovereign self, I don't feel the need to long for this romantic relationship in that sense. Because now I have to redefine what romantic relationship means. I have to redefine what being in love means. I have to redefine what a relationship is, how to work as a sovereign entity that I am. All of these things are just things I have been pondering. You get, and the idea of being a sovereign entity, being a sovereign self, being my sovereign self, is something that I feel like the demographic of people that identify as women should consider. You get, like it's not new, it's not revolutionary, obviously. Like of course, like, I feel like sovereignty is a watchword, and aspiring for relationships with men is not going to it's going to contradict the desire to be sovereign. It's going to contradict your wish to be sovereign. It's going to contradict your embodiment of sovereignty. That's what I just feel. And it's like, where do we go from here? It's kind of a grief to me. You get, because it's like, does that mean I don't have to fall in love anymore? It's like I want to fall in love, yeah, but do I want to fall in love at the cost of my sovereignty? No. So that does that mean there's no relationship that can exist outside the bubble of this domination and submission and patriarchy and nonsense and all of that? Is it possible? I don't think that. I think that's a very limited view. I think I'm just going to wait and expect life to show me this view, to show me what I expect now. I want to expect them towards sovereign connections, however it may look, and free of the limitations of gender and social constructs as such. So yeah, that's just something I wanted to as a break from this review.